Okay, in this video we're going to be making the Pulley 6.10. It's down the bottom right hand corner. It is metric, so we do have to make sure we start off on metric. And it's one of the little bit harder shapes. This is one that you have to do as a revolve because the top from here to here is rounded on the top, and we can see that by the stitch pattern. It doesn't always mean fillet the stitch pattern, but it is rounded slightly on the top. And we can see that from this view right here. What this is a zoomed in view from where this arrow is pointing at, and so it is rounded right there. So to start drawing this, we're going to start here at the home page. You're going to hit New. You're going to click down on ENUS and go to Metric, and then Standard MMIPT. Eventually, it'll open up. There we go. So from here we are just starting to sketch, no different than any of the other parts. We are going to draw on the right hand view, so the YZ plane right here. We click on that to double check that it is in the right hand view. When the plus opens up right here, where this cross pattern, it should say right over here. If not, go back. You need to re-choose the correct plane for this. From here we're going to start with a line. We're going to start with a center line, and we're going to go to the yellow dot, click, and we're going to go to the right. And going to the right, we're going to go an overall dimension, which I'll go back to the screen here in just a second, but it's going to be 20 plus 73, so 93, and this is millimeters. And then we hit escape once. I'm going to click on the center to zoom out, and we have a line that's 93. Where I got that 93 was 73 is from the back of the part to right here, and then on top of that we have 20 extra millimeters right here coming forward. So the next thing we're going to do is just kind of sketch out the shape. This is ramped up, so this is not a straight line across there. You can see it's thinner right here than it is back here for this part. So we're going to draw this kind of shape for this document. Now I'm not going to come back here for just a little bit till I finish this. We're going to start with a line. We're going to turn off center line, and then what we're going to do is sketch out the shape. So starting right here on the black line, I'm just going to click, and I'm not anywhere near the center line. I'm just going to go up a little ways, doesn't really matter how far. I'm going to click, I'm going to go an angled line coming out this way, a little past halfway, like halfway is right about where 93 is located. The angle really doesn't matter right now. I'm going to click right there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and correct my screen here, and I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to go straight over this way. Again, not really setting any distances. I'm not trying to lock this in anywhere. I'm going to go up again. Now this top part is rounded. We will worry about that later on. Right now we're just going to put a straight line. Going back this way a little ways. I don't want to go past the end point right here, so I'm just going to go like right here-ish. Up, over, down, and now this is where the end of my line is over here. We can kind of see where the purple ends, so we get a dashed line right there. I don't want to go that far down. I actually want to stay up above that quite a ways, but I don't want to also lock in where that line is there. So I'm just going to go slightly below that, click, and go out this way, click again. That one I kind of lined up. If you saw, it came out here and that lined up with this one. If it doesn't, it's perfectly fine. I'm going to go down just a little ways. That's center of the other line, so I'm just going to go slightly down, click, out, just again clicking somewhere, and then I'm going to line these two up so they come back together right here. So all in all, the highlighted blue lines are all the ones that I've done. The 93 is a dimension measurement, but we did this one. You can see I started here, I went up, angled, up, over, down, and I came back over here and down a little bit more again here. You can always re-add these. If this one came all the way over here, you can re-add a line right here for this here in a little bit. Now, normally I would do the left and right measurements. For this one, we're going to kind of intermingle them or intermix them so I can get the whole entire correct side. So going back to this drawing, overall the top line, which is be right here, we did draw it as flat, we'll round it over here in a little bit, is 143. So we dimension top line up here, hit the center line. That's going to be 143. If your parts move or if lines move too much, you can always hit OK or cancel or escape, and you can move these lines as much as you need to up to a certain point. Now that's my overall for height. What I want to do next is I want to actually set the height, the size of these two holes, and then we'll set everything else. So the size of the holes, right here is one hole, and that is 19. So that's going to be that little step in the front. In the back right here, we have an arrow pointing again. That's the size of this larger hole, and that is 28.58. Again, we're going to ignore the plus minus right here, but 28.58. So starting here, dimension. We're going to do that back line first, so the larger circle to the center line. 28.58. This lower line right here is 19. So now you can see those lines are black for that. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to start locking in a couple of horizontal measurements just before we get a bunch of this other stuff kind of cattywampus. So, right here we have this bottom line. It goes from this vertical line, so we're going to click in here to here. And we'll look at that in a minute, but that's going to be that 20 that we had to add into. Now it is 20. It's going to kick it all the way out here, or it's going to scooch it in. Again, your results may vary. We'll worry about that here in a minute. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this line to this one back here. I'm going to bring that one down. And that one is going to be that 73. Now I'm going to hit check mark. So, where did I get those numbers? If we go back to here, we have the 20, it's right here, where it was from that line to that line, and then 73 was from that line to the end. Now, if yours doesn't line up, like mine doesn't, because it should line up with the endpoints here, just for sake of later on you might need to add something, what we're going to do is line those up, and that is that helps if I'm not clicked on anything. But you're going to grab horizontal constraint, which seems kind of dumb, but again, it is vertical in the right plane. Always test. You can see it's going up and down here. I grab the end dot here. Look at here. You could have done this dot to this dot. Doesn't matter, because once we have one locked in, they can't go any farther because this is 93 totaled up. Alright. Next numbers that we're going to do is we're going to start setting these ones up here. So, getting out of here, we see 105 and 114. If we follow 114 up, it actually goes to this farther line, because we can bring that one all the way down. It goes to the bottom end here. 105 goes to the lower one. So where that points to is dimension, center line, bottom line here is the 105. 105, enter, top line, which what we're going to do is not click on what I clicked on. We're going to dimension to this dot right here, and that's going to be important later on when we add the arch in. So top dot across center line, that was 114. And hit enter. Next one that we have to know is where this point is located. So we go to that point to here. We have to do the point because it is an angled line. So bring that back out over here. Go to the drawing. We see that the point, which is this one right here, if we follow that around, we have 36. So this now is 36. What about these ones in the back? So when we come back here, we see that there is a 40, and that's going to this dead point right here. And so zoom in. I would recommend you zoom in, but you can kind of see it's measuring to that point right there. And then that point is actually this point as well. It sees this. You can see this line coming all the way through. And that's going to measure right here. Yes, I know they are radiused, but that point is where it ends currently when it's a sharp point. So dimension here to here is 40, and then this point to down here is also 40, and that sets your angle. Doesn't set how wide this is. There's still quite a few purple lines, but now we've got most of our diameter measurements. Now what we have left, we need to know how far these things are. So the top little lip is 8, and then from the back to here is 50. This is radius of 3, but we also see that as a distance from 3 from there to there. So we've got 3, 8, 50, we got 12. We'll worry about all of these here in just a second. So 3, 8, 12, and 50. I'm just going to memorize those based on largest or smallest to largest. So 3, 8, 12, 50. So 3 is going to be from here. So we have this point to this purple line. That is 3. 8 is going to be how far it is from this shorter vertical line to this vertical line. That is 8. 12 is from this vertical line, wherever it may be, to here. That is 12. And then 50 is all the way from out here to back here. And that is 50. Now that is most of the part. What we need to do now is we need to add our little arch in. So hit escape, whatever you're on, if you spasm click it a few times. Click on this top line, and then go up here to where construction line is and turn that on. And what that's going to do is turn that one line into a dashed line. So now that's not going to have any effect. When we extrude, it basically is invisible. What we're going to do next is grab an arch, or an arc, I should say, not an arch. And if we look at this, that information is up over here. It says radius of 250. The center of the circle is 21 from this edge over here. I'm not going to worry about that. There is a way to specially do that, but in essence of getting this video done a little bit faster, we're just going to ignore that and we'll see where we end up. So radius 250. Arches, or arcs, will do radiuses. So you click on the end dot here, click on the end dot here, go upwards, and then you just type in 250 and you hit enter. You'll notice it's a black line. Basically this one is going to be in the center, so it is actually 25. No, it is 21. Never mind, I did my math wrong. It is 21 across there. If we go from here to the center dot, if we go straight down, there's your 20, 21. I actually forgot that math actually works. That's okay. So it doesn't matter. There's your 21 measurement. Now we have the arch in. We have all of our distances correct. We don't have any of the fillets. We'll add those in a minute. But we're going to hit finish sketch. We're going to zoom out, preferably where you can see it. You're going to hit revolve. If all works, it should select everything automatically and spin it. If it does not, what you need to do is go and select this little section right here, because it may not have selected that. You'll notice it's a little bit darker blue, because one half of it is a construction line, but it is grabbing both of those. It's just showing that construction line based on the two different colors. So we zoom out, we hit OK, and now we have to add our fillets. A couple of different fillets and different ways that you could add them. We're not going to add them with a full round, but this top could be full rounded. The other way to make a full round fillet is to take the distance, which in this case is 8, and divide it by 2. So these two arch fillets on the top need to be a radius of 4. So we're going to come back here. We're going to go fillet. We're going to type in 4. We're going to click on this line and this line, and it rounds it completely over. We're going to hit OK. Yes, I know we can hit plus and do all of these at once, but slower is faster. Fillet, change to 3. The back side right here, we need this line, and what that does is it rounds it up. And where I got that one, right here, this is a round, radius of 3 fillet, and it rounds it up. The last couple that we have is there is a radius of 2 here, and there's a radius of 6, and radius of 6. So, radius of 3, okay. Radius, fillet again. This one needs to be 2. It's going to be this outer one, and we hit OK. Fill it again. This one needs to be 6. We're going to do the inside right there, and then what you need to do is you can hold Shift and the center zoom in wheel, scroll wheel, and it'll actually let you rotate your screen like this. The other way of doing it is just holding on this box on the corner and lets you rotate it. What you're trying to do is see this little section right here, or part of it. You're going to click there. You're going to hit OK. Now we're going to color it. So look at this. The whole outer side of it is all finished. The only part that still has cast iron is the inside. So it's easier to do machined first and then do the cast iron after, because there's a lot more that's machined. So we'll come up here to default, let the drop down happen. We'll go down to machined. I'm going to choose machined aluminum because it's one of my favorites to use. So machined aluminum, and then I'm going to hold control, and I'm going to choose all the surfaces on that screen, which mind me, I'm looking at my phone right now to see what's all selected, but we're going to hold control, click there, click on the fillet, that back wall, that fillet, and that surface right there. And that all needs to go to iron cast, and so it's up. Helps if I don't miss it, iron cast. And that's what the part looks like. From there you can go ahead and save that, and that is the idler pulley 6.10. Good luck.